Hello, thank you for your interest in Catalyst's Gem in 10. Today's topic is the veterinary team and accountability and looking in the mirror. Accompanying this video are PDFs that you can use to continue the exercise with your team. There's a PDF with notes and also the exercise that asks the questions accompanying the slides. You may want to print those off and have them available as we go through these slides now, or print them off later. It's up to you. Thanks again, and here we go. So this idea of looking in the mirror, that can be rather difficult and scary. It's something that we tend to avoid. So we're going to dive into this conversation about awareness and personal habits. And together we will look at accountability in team members and how accountability can be improved upon. Topics include: where does accountability begin? What does accountability even look like? How are we going to adjust these personal habits, and how is this paradigm shift going to occur? And we will be offering you tips to hold yourself accountable and how to lead through example in accountability. So where does accountability begin? Yep, you guessed it. It begins with you. Before you can be accountable to your business plans, to your organization, or those that you love, lead, and serve, you must be accountable to yourself, you alone. Start by looking in the mirror. I found this cute comic. So it says, "You've got a problem with avoiding personal accountability." And the chicken answers, "And whose fault is that?" Right? I find it ironic when I go to presentations and I'm facilitating a program, and I'll ask the people that are participating in the audience, who wishes you had team members that held themselves more accountable? And every hand in the room goes up. So the flip side of that question is, who in the room feels they hold themselves accountable to a high standard? And every hand in the room goes up. So do you see the irony in that? We feel we hold ourselves accountable to a certain standard, and we typically feel everybody else could be holding themselves accountable to a higher standard. It's quite a quandary. So the fact of the matter is, we need to personally look at our own accountability and hold ourselves to the highest standard. So is there a chance to live a fulfilling, satisfied life? You know, right now and even past, and it'll be even more chaotic in the future, there's uncertainty. Of course there is. And oftentimes there even can be frustrations and challenges and obstacles that seem so overwhelming. However, we can have a fulfilling and satisfied life. The myth is that we are entitled to prosperity, sustainability, all of the success, all of the happiness. Now, when I think about this word entitled, it's like someone's going to give it to us on a silver platter. Well, that's the myth. This is not going to be just simply given to you. However, if you are willing to be 100% accountable for your actions, responses, and outcomes, you can have a fulfilling and satisfied life. But it's your accountability. It's you taking the action and being responsible. So these are the 6 questions that I feel may help us down this path to accountability. And these are for you to answer alone. You can't delegate it to anybody else. These are for you, in your hearts, in your guts. So the first question: do you recognize your life and career are in your hands alone? So who is responsible for your happiness and success? What do you want in your life, in your personal life? Identify some things. What brings you great joy in your life? What do you want in your career? So of the next steps would be taking action. What actions are you willing to take to achieve what you want in your life? And a similar question is, what actions are you willing to take to achieve what you want in your career? Right? So we need to know and understand what we want, where we want to be, what we want to do, what brings us great joy, and bringing more of that into our life. And then the other side of that is taking the action to do it, to get there, to being solely responsible for the outcome. So adjusting personal habits is how this is going to occur. So we can, again, look at ourselves in the mirror and say, this is who I am right now. And this is what I look like in accountability and goal setting and achieving goals. This is what I look like as a team member. This is who I am as a spouse, a mother, as a daughter, all of these things. And some of the habits we have in those characters may need to be shifted and may need some change in order for us to meet our highest potentials. One of the best books I've ever read and was pivotal for me was Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And here's a link of how to find that. So in his book, there are 7 chapters. Makes sense, 7 habits. And in each one of those, he gives a great amount of support and tools to make this paradigm shift, to be this highly effective person. So I'm going to elaborate a little bit on there. The first chapter is be proactive, and that simply says and means take responsibility for your own life. Take action. This next one, begin with the end in mind, is one of the habits I probably embrace most often because I visualize and I create and I see and then I bring it to fruition. And I do that consciously, but beginning with the end in mind. So visualize who you want to be, what you want to be doing. And then also just taking action and writing that down and creating a plan and formalizing it and finding people who will support you in that. Put first things first. This is about life management and time and prioritizing what it is you want. When we know that this is the goal out there and this is the focus that we want to take, it helps us say no gracefully to the things and opportunities and maybe distractions that may not help us reach our goal. So put first things first. Chapter 4 is think win-win. And this brings about the idea that life is a cooperative arena, and there are a number of people willing to support you in your goals, in your career, in your life. And connecting with them and creating situations that are win-win, not me, or us against them, or however that comes about, but truly opportunities where there's winning across the board. Chapter 5 is seek first to understand, then be understood. This is the whole concept of active listening and asking, what's going on? What are the circumstances? I need to better understand this. And then listening wholeheartedly to those ideas and the answer. And then on the other side of that, there may be this opportunity for you to be understood in order for you to reach your goals. Chapter 6, synergize. I love synergize. So that means that 2 heads are better than 1. Together as a team, you will achieve more. And this idea that 1 + 1 is 3. So if you have team members that are just totally in the groove, they're speedy, they're effective, they're collaborating, those 2 team members could essentially be as powerful and as effective as 3. That's synergy. The last chapter is sharpening the saw, which is what you're doing here. It reminds us to continually learn, to stretch ourselves, to be that bigger, better, more awesome person and to help reach our highest potentials and the goals that we have. So how do you hold yourself accountable? I'm taking a quote out of Gwen Pettit's article that accompanies this program, and she's Catalyst's life coach. And she says, you have the power to be in control of your own life. Step up to the role by making small, manageable changes in your actions and attitude. Life is made up of small choices made one day at a time. Start small and think big to create a life where you are actively in charge of your outcomes. Remember that attitude and action are the keys to getting to your desired outcomes in life. Very wise woman. So this is the next sequence of questions in your handout. Now you don't have to answer all of them. I suggest you just choose 4. But think about this. How in today did I help a team member? How did I develop as a professional? What did I do to add value during today's experience? If I saw something and didn't like it, or I saw something needed to be improved upon or changed, did I do something about it? What excellent choices have I made today? And in every moment we have choices. We have choices to step away from a gossiping conversation. We have choices to give gifts, to be kind, to be loyal. These are all choices. How did I take ownership today? What did I do in maybe a treatment or conversation with a client or just ownership in the veterinary hospital? How did I do that? Have I had a positive attitude and have I been portraying that? Am I a Debbie Downer or am I a positive Pollyanna? This is something for me, and I use it all the time, especially as being a business owner. If it's to be, it's up to me. And I practice that all the time. So how do you lead by example? And people are watching you all the time. Clients are watching you, teammates, managers, veterinarians. And it's a two-way street. So first and foremost, it means that you accept responsibility for the outcomes expected of you, both good and bad. You accept responsibility. You don't blame others. You don't blame the external environment. Everything's out here in that blame. No. What we have to do is come inside in our heart and realize what's going on. There are always things you could have done or still can do to change the outcome. And I got this off of Michael Hyatt's blog. So again, in this idea of leading by example, you'll use I statements. I feel, I'm concerned, I want to change, I want to participate. When you're leading through example, you know why you're making a decision. It's clear to you. I'm going to do it or I'm choosing not to. Leading through example means you admit your mistakes and that you don't wallow in remorse or self-pity. When you're leading through example, you're taking action to correct problems. Coming back to that first question in the program, where does accountability begin? Yes, it begins with you in each day, in each moment, in each scenario. Thank you for joining me. I certainly hope that you're able to use some of these tools and found some of this encouraging and enlightening and sparking a fire, moving you to action and motivating you to take control of your life and your career and being accountable for all of the things that have happened in the past and all of the wonderful, awesome things that are in your future, because it's going to be upon you. It's put upon you. So feel free to contact us. We're here to help you. And this is information. You can reach out to me via my email or off of the website. Terrific. Thank you so much. Have a delightful day.